Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today in my training clip I did today, I mentioned in the voiceovers that I was doing that I generally recommend that strength athletes do not miss reps in training, that you always try to leave a rep in the tank, at least on your big heavy compound movements. Now a lot of you guys are going to argue, and that's okay because this is just general advice. I'm not saying that I'm 100% right on this, and if you don't ascribe to my philosophy that you're stupid or anything like that. And someone was going to point out, well, I know a champion, this guy who's a world record holder in powerlifting or competes in the world's strongest man, and he takes exactly he tries to miss 3 reps every week on his deadlift or squat. And guys, that's fine. You're not that guy, you're not at his genetic elite level, and you're probably not on 5 or 10 grams of gear a week. So I really wouldn't worry about if you find some exception. What you're generally going to find is that it is primarily a recovery issue. Now, it can be a motor unit learning issue because training those real slow grinders, particularly if your form starts to degrade when you miss reps, we could argue that it could train some poor motor patterns, it could train some poor technique, but that's not the biggest concern. That's a secondary concern with it. The biggest concern is the inroads it makes into your recovery and just the stress it puts on your central nervous system and peripheral nervous system to miss a big, heavy lift like a squat, like particularly a deadlift. Deadlift is the biggest one. Your bench press. And what will happen is that if you're training at a fairly high frequency, and a lot of you are, if you're trying to make really good strength gains, you're going to find, and if you're like me and you're training everything 3 times a week, I squat, bench, and deadlift 3 times a week. And what you're oftentimes going to find is that if you come in and miss a rep, your strength's going to go down your next session. You're come back in 48 hours after only 1 day of rest, and you're going to find that your strength is going to be down. All your lifts are going to be down 5 or 10 kilos. And you're going to have to train lighter accordingly, and it's because your nervous system can be fatigued. And that's what happens to me personally. Some people will just recover faster than others do, particularly guys who are at a much lower strength level. But as you get stronger and stronger, you're going to find that missing a lift on those big lifts will really beat up your recovery, and it might require you to take an extra day off of training that week, which in turn is going to give you less progress. And what you'll find is that when you're on a roll and you start hitting PR after PR, like I did a couple weeks ago, you guys saw my close grip bench press go up. Within 2 weeks, I set like 3 PRs on it. But the thing is, I always kept 1 rep in the tank. I tried to avoid grinders. I kept 1 rep in the tank. I didn't miss reps. And by doing that, I was able to adapt and recover and grow in a spurt to where I slammed PRs, like 3 PRs inside of 2 weeks. And then it leveled back off. But it was in large part because I kept reps in the tank and I was able to adapt, recover, and come back stronger the next session in a burst. And had I taken those sets to failure and missed a rep, I might have found that I needed extra days off. I might not have got my PRs as soon. It would have taken longer to adapt and recover. So that is your biggest concern, and people are going, yeah, but it's worth it for the extra growth and gains. No, it's not, because a rep that you miss, you don't really get a positive adaptation to that. You got a good adaptation from the rep before the one you missed because you probably really pushed yourself. You really taxed yourself near your limits, and that last rep you probably got some good adaptations off of. You probably grew as a result of that one, but that next rep that you missed didn't do anything positive for you. You simply didn't recruit enough muscle units. You didn't really get any positive adaptive stress from it. All you did was beat up your recovery. So that's why I tell guys not to do that. It's just not conducive for rapid strength gains to do stuff like that. All it does is beat up your recovery, and it doesn't really give you any benefits. So hopefully that clarifies that. Alright guys, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time. But let me give you guys a bicep shot before I go. Oh.